at the American History Museum. If you do not want to be found by NPCs, just blend in with the rest of the statues. They'll never find me here.
NANI?!
What is up, Gorilla Nation, and welcome your butts back to a brand new edition and a brand new episode of the Division 2 build series. But before we hop into today's video, if you would be so kind to reach up there, smack that like button, also ground and pound that subscription button, then reach up there, trigger the bell, and turn on post notifications, so that way you know each and every time a video is uploaded or a stream goes live. As you've seen previously in the Liliana build, it was asking my comments what did I think of this version of that particular build. That's why I dubbed it the Freedom Fighter. That's the background behind me. Now I'm going to send you over to some gameplay to more or less simplify and help explain, so that way I don't drag out this video farther than what is needed and intended. So here you go.
Keep the change, you filthy animal!
See, I'll show you. No armor. See how those four are lined up?
Yep, I see no armor.
Wow.
Instant armor. What the? Oh, wow. Yes, yeah.
And let's say with your
true patriot chest piece, and I need a backpack.
with your seeker idea,
Yep. Wow.
all right. If you want to see the full extensive gameplay, then check out the live stream. That link will be in the description box below. So let's hop into the build. Now, instead of the Heartbreaker gear set, we went with the True Patriot. In case you didn't wonder or figure that out by the thumbnail or the name of the build. But for 2 pieces, you get 30% ammo capacity, 3 pieces, 30% magazine size, and for the 4 piece, you get the red, white, and blue. Every 2 seconds, you shoot enemies, receive a stacking debuff of the red, white, and blue. Red amplifies the enemy's damage taken by 8%, while shooting the enemy repairs the attacking agent's armor by 2% once every second. That would be me. And then, of course, the blue decreases the enemy's damage dealt by 8%. And then if you have the full flag, enemies that die while under the effect of all 3 debuffs create a 5-meter explosion, dealing damage equal to their total health and armor. Explosion damage reduced on named enemies. And as you can see, I got everything rolled to crit chance and crit damage, but these debuffs, specifically the white, the enemy repairs the attacking agent, meaning yourself, by 2% once every second, goes hand in hand with the chest piece that I'm using, which is the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece. And as you've seen in that brief little gameplay, or I should say the clip by being in the bunker, aka firing range, aka whatever you want to call it, then you'll know that repairs 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within 15 meters. Repair strength per number of bleeding enemies: 1 3%, 2 6%, 3 12%, 4 24%, and 5 48%. So as you've seen in the clip, just essentially with the 4 to 5 enemies that are bleeding that are within that 15-meter range of you, then you get your full armor back within 2 seconds, because if it's 4, then you're getting 24%, a quarter of your armor back every second. Yes, that is every second. So it comes in really nice and handy, especially when it comes to survivability and that specific countdown new mission of TU15. And as we all know, when doing control points or any heroic mission, you constantly get surrounded and compounded by multiple NPCs at the same time, and you have things such as your skills or your weaponry of choice that can proc this bleeding status effect. And as you can see in that clip, I use a Seeker Mine, but also you can use a Bleed Hive as well. For additional damage, I went with of course, the RPK. Mediocre. I had to roll it, but the RPK has a faster reload time, and as you can see, 84 round magazine due to the True Patriot, and its standard is around 65. So you definitely get more bang for your buck when it comes to ammo, and of course, Sadist deal 20% weapon damage to bleeding enemies. So essentially, you're bleeding for the old red, white, and blue. Or I should say, you're making other people bleed for the red, white, and blue, and you're just passing them out tampons. And of course, I went with the Petrov backpack, still trying to min-max it out. Of course, crit chance, crit damage, but creeping death, which ties everything all together. When you apply a status effect, it is also applied to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. So if an enemy steps in, just one steps in your, say, bleed hive, and then the other NPCs are in that 8-meter vicinity, then they also will catch that bleed as well. And as far as when it comes to shooting enemies with bullets, same thing happens. Anything 8 meters from your said target will also catch that bleed status effect, and in turn apply that red, white, and blue flag debuffs. And of course, to stack on that extra damage beside that bleed damage, I went with my oldie but goldie, the Pestilence. Because as you all know, landing shots promote a tick called Plague of the Outcast. Hits apply a debuff, synergizing well with the debuffs of the True Patriot. 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds. This stacks up to 50 times. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters. So the whole thing ties together and synergizes well between the debuffs of the red, white, and blue when it comes to the True Patriot gear set, the debuffs that are applied by the Pestilence, also creating damage along its path for every bullet inflicted upon your target, and that is a constant tick, and then it stacks up to 50 times. So you're not only debuffing them, reducing their damage, creating heal for yourself, not only from the True Patriot, but predominantly from the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece. You can see how this all simply, I tied it up in a bow, nice and pretty for you, and it synergizes completely well. For extra damage, you can go with any secondary weapon of your choice, but since I am an LMG fan, and LMGs are my fave, that's the weapon of choice that I choose, but anything with status on it will work out really nice and well. So you can change this Petrov to a Fenris if you want to. You can go to a Suck Me Off piece if you want to go SMG. The skies are the limit. But I'm an LMG guy, and I'm an artist when it comes to the Pestilence. If you haven't seen my previous PvP and PvE videos from before I took my break, I was causing a lot of pestimonies and pestifications in my Mr. Piss with the Pestilence. So it is it's the #1 LMG in my book when it comes to that debuff, and now the ticks instead of the Mr. Piss, but it synergizes well with the True Patriot. The debuffs and the healing coming from True Patriot synergize well with the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece, and then what ties everything together and extends all those debuffs and bleeding, which is the bow of this package, that would be the Creeping Death talent on a backpack. Now, when it comes to skills, skies are the limit. I just went with Seeker or a Bleeder Hive just to promote that whole thing, because I really don't need a heal, so to speak, because I'm getting heals by inflicting that bleed to enemies that are within that 15 meters. When it comes to the specialist, I chose the gunner because for every kill, and since I am using LMGs, when you kill one NPC, you get an RPM buff, and then as long as you have ammo before reloading, you move on to the next NPC, you kill that one, and then you get yet another RPM buff, and you can kind of string this along, and when those ticks killing an NPC and then transferring to another, you can stack up a nice hefty RPM with the Pestilence with little to minimal effort. But just in case you're in a hairy situation and you need to reload really fast, then the RPK is a good hybrid of choice with a fast reload time. It's equivalent to an AR reload time, so half that of normal LMGs, and that's why I call it a hybrid, because it's basically an AR/LMG all packed into one, and it has that magazine size of 84, which comes in really nice and handy. But the sky's the limit. Make it your own. If you want to get more damage on the back end of it with the ticks and the bleed, then I would go with status effect on every single piece where I have crit hit or crit damage on. As far as mod slots as well, you can't do that with a chest piece because it has baked in values of 3 reds and those cannot be changed. But that will give you a longer duration of your bleed, resulting into more damage over time along with that tick, and that is a very viable option as well. But if you want that initial damage up front, then just go with crit chance and crit damage. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for commenting in the last Liliana build video that wanted me to put this together, because another viewer of the channel wanted to see and was inquiring how True Patriot would work out. So definitely go check it out. It just depends on and dictates. Well, I wouldn't say dictates. It just depends on. I don't know why I use that word. I guess it makes me try to sound smart, but I'm really the smartest dumb person out there. But anyways, enough of my rambling. Just definitely go try it out. Make it your own. Tweak it as you see fit, because my playstyle and my personal preferences are different from other individuals, and of course the circumstances and the missions that you are playing will also play a factor in what build you particularly want to use. So either go with the Liliana or come on over to the Freedom Fighter. Sky's the limit. Appreciate you all so very much. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share. Click the notification bell. And as always, be a better person tomorrow than what you were today. God bless. Old Glory.